And so this evening, I want to tell you that I have with me in the studio a young gentleman who wants to speak on the issue of data sovereignty in this country. Recently it came through in the form of bill, or is it bill or motion, by Senator Ned Nwoko, where he complained before his colleagues on the need to take control of these sites, or data space in the country, with a view to having these offices of the operators in the country, or that sitting far away from probably nobody knows where they are, and then they dish out information, whether good or bad, we receive it. But when they come, besides benefiting the country in terms of employment, again, will control information to reduce misinformation and disinformation where necessary. And from that perspective, that they are here, or he is here to speak with us on some of these number of issues within the topic to be discussed. Of course, my guest is Mr. Modi Khaled, President General, Southern Nigeria Youth Congress. Of course, it's a pleasure having you on the program. This is Mr. Modi Khaled.
Pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Yes. From the introduction, clearly you understand basically where the direction of discussion is really going. Yeah. And notice that you are passionate about the bill, or is it a bill or a motion?
It's an amendment to the...
They are to amend the act, yes, the existing act. So, being carried out by Senator Ned Nwoko. Yeah. What's your perspective into it?
The perspective? I think the amendment is one all Nigerians should be very interested in. But I want to make something clear. This bill, as proposed by distinguished Senator Ned Nwoko, is not a witch hunt or an attempt to stifle the operations of these social media companies in Nigeria, but rather it calls for fairness, accountability, and economic inclusivity. So I think this bill is important, and I think the Senate should look critically into it and give a yes to it. So that's my perspective.
Why will you say it's not a witch hunt? Why will you open your statement with that? Do you perceive that if we continue that the way the bill is likely not to be viewed as if it's a witch hunt?
Yeah, there's some persons who have certain concerns, when you don't understand where there is no proper clarity on what the bill is talking about. Most Nigerians will tend to give certain connotations or meaning to it. So I want them to, this is why I'm also calling on Nigerians and Nigerian youth to take that time to critically look at this bill and look at the areas of amendment and see that what he is actually pushing for is not in any way witch hunt, is not in any way to stifle operations, but rather it's a whole lot of benefits to Nigerians and our country.
Can you give us an update of how the bill looks like?
Yeah, one of the key things he's proposing is fiscal presence in the country. Now, there are a lot of positive attendant factors to that. One, which is the economic aspect. When we have these companies here situated in our country, you know that as you get from the Nigerian citizenry, you are also giving back to the nation through taxes and all of that. Two, it creates job opportunity and employment. This is not just limited to technical roles. We also have the legal aspects of it. We have customer relations, we have the marketing, etc., etc. We also have where it tries to reflect the cultures and values of the Nigerian people, so that we are not in any way indoctrinated by Western values through their algorithms and whatever activities they put on their websites.
Let's start to be specific so that whoever sees they are watching us should be clear of what we're talking about. Yeah. Can you name those service or data providers that you are looking at?
Yeah, there's the X, formerly known as Twitter. We have TikTok, we have Facebook, even YouTube. We have these social media giants. These are the social media companies that we're talking about.
Yeah. So you mean all those ones you mentioned, they cannot be found in this country physically?
No, they don't have a physical.
So what has been the most exclusive parts of of these companies that are not here that will be going through, that each time around the be proposed will now help to amend some of them. What are those things? We've been there working with, enjoying the services they provide for. And now we're coming up with an idea that they should come up here and build their offices. Were we sort of change? Were we given wrong information? And if we're given wrong, what has the country become as a result of these pieces of information we receive from them?
Like we know, we're in a digital age and things are ever changing, laws are changing, and I think at this point in time, where we are trying to stabilize our economy, this bill is very, very much important. And while we're calling them in, like the President said, one, data sovereignty. Now, Nigeria is a sovereign state, and as a country, we must push and support laws, institutions, and bills that further strengthens our sovereignty. Now, imagine where our data is being managed outside the shores of our country. We have no control. Where there are issues, we don't have anyone to hold accountable. Now, when they have physical presence here in our country, Nigeria, you see that they'll be guided by our own laws, and they will comply with our laws that governs the country and Nigeria, and then we know that our data are protected here in our country, Nigeria.
Is it the perception of the way we regulate certain sectors in society? Take for instance agriculture, where sometimes government will just wake up and put a ban, no importation of rice or whatever into the country. Yeah, that can be done if it is on the aspect of agriculture, because if we don't import, we can farm by ourselves, at least for us to feed ourselves. But in the case of the use of technology that you don't even know anything about, but you want to take ownership of it, by that I mean, asking the providers to come over, probably against their will, to come and just cite their offices here. Meanwhile, you are not contributing. Besides the monetary aspect, because you buy their services, but technologically, you don't know anything about that.
Well, I would like to correct that, because I feel there are a lot of Nigerians who are doing perfectly well in the technological space. We have young Nigerians who are below 35 that are experts in this field, industry experts. Currently, we have a virtual tech program.
You mean those Nigerians you are talking about, if they ask them to set the industry or industries here, they'll be able to?
Of course.
Or they only have the knowledge base of how to operate the system?
Not just knowledge base of how to operate the system. These are people who are also practicalized, and they're also doing well. I can tell you for free that some of our technological experts are being ruled over by these foreign countries. I wanted to make a point, like Southern Nigeria Youth Congress, our organization, we have a virtual tech program that we're currently running now, and we have industry experts, Nigerian youth, and it will shock you to know that they are below 35, and they are doing absolutely and amazingly well in their various fields. When it comes to blockchain technology, data analysis, cyber security, these are authorities in this field. Also, there is also that opportunity for technological transfer. This is also an opportunity for Nigerian youth who are interested in this field to gain world global business standards, to learn these things from experts like them, and also exchange our own views and how we operate things here in our country, Nigeria.
You know what I asked this question? Yes, it's one thing to know how to operate, and then another thing entirely not to be able to understand what and what we are operating. For instance, the custodial mechanical engineering and driving a car, probably a course will be able to rectify it. Completely don't know anything. It's only that you know that the car runs, and that's the way you use it. And when it comes to complain, you complain, but you don't know how to complain. That's the way I see what we are really trying to do. And I ask you a fundamental question. Has there been anything wrong in the first place? All around that will be using it that you feel this time around, let them just come outside their offices. Whether our information system has been hacked, or is it because there is more of insecurity using those things that so far has affected us, that you feel when you see me, you will not say, I want to put this information obviously.
Okay, so there is everything wrong when you're getting so much value from the country and you're not giving back. There is everything wrong with that. Now, we have countries who are less populated or have less users in the world where these companies are situated. I can tell you for a fact that Nigeria per usage, average unit on social media ranks 4th in the world.
4th?
Yeah, 4th in the world, just second to Kenya in Africa. Now, we don't have a physical presence here. Now, you are gaining so much from our people and you're not giving back to our people. Nigeria is a sovereign state. Nigeria is the giant of Africa, the most populous black nation in the country. They should be running down here. Like you said, you made, and it's insinuated that people know, but they don't know how to operate. I don't think that is true. I would repeat again, there are a lot of Nigerians who are technically gifted with the knowledge and they can practically show these things. A lot of them in that field. So I think coming down here, while they are getting value from our country, they should also give value to the country. Those other countries where, okay, imagine they are making so much money from Nigeria and they are paying taxes to those countries that don't even give as much as Nigeria does. That is what is wrong. Nigeria should benefit. You see, like they said,
but at the level as we are now, as much as their offices are not found in this country, and then we are still using these facilities, are we making financial gains as an individual? As soon as I'm using any of these platforms, am I making any gain if I keep, it's about content development.
Yeah.
If I develop very strong content that universally could be acceptable, will I make a gain?
Of course, you're making, but you're not making as much as those other Western countries or countries where they're situated. For instance, like recently, Facebook just monetized Nigeria and monetized platform in Nigeria. And these have been existing in several countries where they have lesser users. Do you understand? Now, if they had a physical office or presence here in Nigeria, our content creators can engage them. Oh, this and this are what this Nigerian market is giving to you. What are you giving us back in return? There's a popular parallel. They say, 2 hands, you wash my own, I wash your own. Now Nigeria has been doing the washing. It is time for them to also wash for us too, as well. So I think this bill is a right step in the right direction, and I think everyone should support it.
Was it that we didn't know initially when they were coming to this country, we didn't tell them what we should do? Was it out of euphoria that we are getting, now we can charge with the universe, that we neglected the fundamentals?
Well, there are steps in life. Now, the first step is the social media makes the world a global village.
Sure.
And Nigeria has to grow with it. And now that we're growing and are seeing how much value we are offering, it is time to demand more value back to our people. So it is not like we are just our eyes are just being opened. No, that is not what it is. I think now they understand the value they get from the Nigerian market. So when we go down to the negotiation table, okay, come down to Nigeria, this is what we're offering. Mind you, we have over 270 million Nigerians, and we have less than 100 million active users. That's to say there's still an over 100 million untapped market. The population of Nigeria is a ready-made market for any social media giants that know what they are doing. So Nigeria is a beautiful bride that they should be wooing, and I think it's about time we take that center stage where we demand them to come down to our country, Nigeria, and set up shop.
What was the old laws said? What did it say that this amendment is crucial? Do you have an idea what the law said that you feel there's a lacuna, a gap?
No, I do not think specifically. I do not think specifically
the amendment is making on that.
The amendment is adding to the void the previous law they didn't take care of. So, and I think that's an important aspect of this amendment, and kudos to the distinguished.
The present law, the extant law concerning data providers, does it in any way handed over the entire country to them without really coming up with certain legalities to control them?
There are existing data laws, but because this country, these social media platforms are not present in Nigeria, our laws cannot take effect. Do you understand? So whatever thing they want to do with our data, they can, but with presence here in Nigeria, our laws now covers and governs them. So whatever thing they do, they can be held accountable.
So the extant laws does not anywhere ask them to come to Nigeria to build their offices?
Nigeria, like...
I mean, the law that is operating at the federal process.
No, I don't think so. So that is why...
Just got ourselves into them.
Yeah, that is why this bill is important. Now, I think it should be made mandatory that, okay, come down to Nigeria, come down to our country, what you're getting from us, we should also get from you. So I think that is...
Is that how it does in most African countries? So Nigeria is becoming a little bit wise, who knows much about itself and freezes the way it's supposed to be, that is moving ahead in trying to talk to them. If Kenya appears to be the force and Nigeria is lagging to Kenya, lagging behind to Kenya, is that what they're doing in Kenya?
I think...
Do they have their offices in Kenya?
I think some do, not entirely all. But like I said, despite being behind Kenya, Nigeria still remains the giant of Africa. And so we must take the lead. And this is
this giant often use our face. Giant in which way? Like in the hospital, when it is a giant, if it is giant, like you are postulating. In the world, when a giant to be seen sitting in a very tiny room, like an elephant in a tiny room. That's the way you are in this discussion we are holding, this country that's called Nigeria. As much as over time we've been operating, and now we have come to understand to a large extent that you've been mismanaged by the service provider and you're not telling them come and build offices. If you are said to be a giant, then you are just a giant in a very big, small room, bigger than your other self. Forcing yourself to live in that.
No, that is not what it is.
Otherwise, the giants are supposed to be giant in every outlook.
No, we are giants in every outlook. We take the lead in entertainment, we take the lead in different sectors, technology, a whole sector existing. Nigerians are always taking the lead. Like you don't, in every 4 African, one is a Nigerian or even 2. You understand? And when you talk about the success,
the population, the quantity does not matter, but quality.
Yeah, it's close to the quality.
You don't want to give an instance.
Yeah.
If you know Estonia, that's very close to Russia.
Yeah.
It's not, their population is not up to 1 million. But the use of data in that particular country that's called Estonia is said to be, the whole Africa does not have half of what Estonia have that provides for its own citizens, and the citizenship, so to speak, is minute compared to our number. Do you understand?
Well, I don't try to compare Nigeria with other states. I believe that in other countries, Nigeria is a sovereign state and a supreme country at that. I'm a patriotic Nigerian. I love my country so much. And I do not try to follow
about me, I do.
I do not try to focus so much on the issues. Like this time, I believe this is a step in the right direction. And I think it is something we should all support going forward.
So what do you do by the time the law is assented to by the president? That Amendment Act is assented to. Now replacing what we have here to become what it should be. So what will you do by the time it has become an act? Will you go to America or Europe and talk to them so that they should start coming? And if there is a need of resistance, how do you solve the problem?
I think that also to be directed to our capable leaders.
No.
Because these laws.
No.
These laws. We
are representing Nigeria. We are speaking for them.
Yeah.
And they are the ones who enjoy these services being provided by these service providers. So if you still find the importance of this place to be in your heart, and if it doesn't fall like the way you feel, like any other Nigerian feels, the question is if by the time it has been amended, what will you do? Will you go to Europe or go to America to ask them please come? And if there is a bit of resistance, is this place as armor you will use on them?
I don't think there will be any bit of resistance. I don't think there will be.
If they had none like the way you are saying it, then what have they made before you even amend them?
No, you should understand something about business people. They would always want to take advantage, take. But when they know that you are just as important as what you're demanding, they will definitely vote. So I think
you have made a point here.
Yes. I don't think they would refuse. I don't think we would meet any form of resistance.
Probably they have been saying these guys are on the news. And they are lining up to be, they are just biting like a black fly, taking money from them.
And now we are saying enough is enough. You have seen how much value we are giving, so it is time to also give back value.
The masquerade is now out. Okay. Well, it's a pleasure speaking with you because if you check time, it's been. I kept telling you that indeed this program starts 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I really apologize that we encountered some difficulties along the way. But again, next time, because I believe we have established friendship, and more of this will be discussed going further, or going forward, whether we are going forward. And that possibly by the time this amendment is signed into law, we are probably coming to celebrate, then I will now be following you to see what steps we will take to ensure that the offices will be here. Probably my daughter might find a space to work with them.
That is what we are looking for. Opportunities for all Nigerian youths.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, anything?
My parting words to Nigerian youth is, one, we should take keen interest in issues of national importance, national issues, and I think more and more Nigerian youths are beginning to see the importance of getting involved, and I want to encourage us that this is the right step in the right direction. No one will make our country better but us. The previous generation, your generation, sorry, you have done your own part and you have brought us to where we are. So it is time for us to
take it go back
take it go back and drive our country forward.
That's very interesting.
Thank you so much.
The President General Southern Nigerian Youth Congress, what do you do there?
Okay, Southern Nigerian Youth Congress is the apex youth body managing the voices of youth across the 70 states of the southern region. So we cut across the south, southwest, and southeast.
Okay. It's not just south, the entire southern protectorate that we talk about north and south.
Yes.
So you are the President General. That's a very huge position.
Thank you so much.
Massive.
Thank you so much.
Well done. Yes. Well, that's how far we can go. I really appreciate you, Mr. Modi Khaled, President General Southern Nigerian Youth Congress, for finding time to be with us on this program this evening. Of course, I enjoyed sharing your views on this wonderful discussion, digital sovereignty. Those who took time to watch up, you understood to a large extent how he pointed out some of the issues that are quite very necessary. Don't forget that it's a bill undergoing an repeal, because there's an existing act on these cyber providers. But this time around, Nebewoko from Delta North is gradually identifying himself with the youth, looking at the number of youth that have engaged themselves in the use of data and the challenges therein. And so he wants to amend the act so that we begin to rule these people to come to Nigeria. So in a very short while, maybe by the time it's ascended into law, we will now go to see whether or not these companies will be coming to Nigeria to do business with us, looking at the potentials of business they have. Well, I really appreciate you once more. News will be coming your way by 7, and I simply urge you to stay tuned. My name again is Tosin Horse. That might be the last edition for this week. Maybe see you next week, and do have a very lovely time. Bye-bye.